was upstairs while waiting for the call here. Inisip ko kasi sabi ko, ang joke ko this year parang most promising old actor. Sa dami ng ginagawa ko. I said yes to everything. I guess it was brought about by the pandemic. You know, we got so bored not doing anything. And then yung nagkaroon naman ng chance to already do taping. And there was a constant demand for new content. So nagkaroon, ang daming platform na nagbukas. So ang daming opportunities, especially for us from the showbiz industry. Nagsunod-sunod naman. So it actually started with Chef Chico. That was my first. We shot it first quarter of the year, and then I jumped right away to The Ride, the film that I did with Kyle, and that was with Cornerstone and Spring Films. And then I went to Ibarra. So when I said yes to Ibarra, it was I think 6 months before we actually started rehearsing. Same thing with MALLARI. When I signed with MALLARI, it was the day after Ibarra, but we were filming 4 months after. So my schedule was pretty planned out long before everything transpired. Basically, 6 months to a year, nakakasa na siya. So from Ibarra, I said I needed to take a break because it was different. It's all new to me. You know, first time I ever did a musical, so it kind of took its toll on my body and my mental being because I had to really dig deep and immerse myself. So I went on a vacation for a month. But nag-tour pa kami ng All-Star naman Cornerstone sa States din. And then, so after Ibarra, I signed on for MALLARI. And then as soon as I got back from my vacation, then na Milan, diniretso ko na yung MALLARI. So, yun.
So before we jump right into MALLARI, kasi so much has been released before that. Pero I want to focus first on yung Ibarra.
Yeah.
Like, how different was that experience? Because I heard that in college, you used to do theater.
Yeah.
And now, like, siguro after how many years that you've been doing like TV, diba? And the big screen now, you're vulnerable on stage.
I guess stage has always been my first love. It was my, kumbaga, it was an eye-opener for me when I started doing theater in grade school and then high school, all the way to college in USD. I just had this feeling that I wanted to act. So theater was my way in. But then my friends from teatro were the ones who encouraged me to audition in ABS, Star Magic or Star Circle. But anyway, so I was doing theater in college sa Teatro Tomasino. And then, nung naging busy ako sa TV, sa films, every so often I'd get offers from different companies to do theater, to do stage, be it musical or straight play. I just never had the time. Then finally, during the pandemic, for some strange reason, man, I got a call and then they asked if I was okay for a pitching. It just fell into place. I said, I've always wanted to do a musical, and that's one thing I wanted to check off my bucket list. And then it just pitched Cancer. Cancer was the original title, which I saw back in high school. So sabi ko, I've always liked the novel. I read it, I taught it in high school. So nung pinitch sa akin, sabi ko, perfect, because I've always wanted to do a Rizal type of thing. So sabi ko, sige, I said yes without thinking. And little did I know, it was like 95% sung. I thought it was a straight play with some songs. So I had to really dig deep and I didn't accept any work for it. And it was like going back to school. It was like going back to training because iba talaga yung disiplina eh. For 1 month, nag-check-in ako sa hotel, hindi ako umalis, doon lang ako malapit sa GSIS, and I just rehearsed every day. I did voice lessons every day, and I hung out with the theater people just to really immerse myself. And yeah, it was well worth it.
Would you say that that experience made you feel more alive than ever when it comes to like acting?
It made me feel as if there's chance for us Filipinos to really showcase our talents, not just abroad but here. We have so many great performers that we have to export, and you know we have the opportunity here. So I guess that's why theater community is thriving, because there's so much talent here. And what it taught me is really discipline, and yeah, it made me feel more alive in terms of acting, because iba-ibang medium yan eh. And for me to be able to do stage and come out alive. Para for me, yes, now I can breathe. But definitely, it's a lot of lessons that I learned. I had to be a student from day one. Talagang everything was new to me. Everything was a learning experience. So it was great.
But concisely, how do you think that experience added to your craft as an actor and a singer?
Let me just put it this way. When I came onto the MALLARI set, I was nervous because I was always nervous when I was doing Ibarra. But that kind of triggered my intensity and to really just channel my passion for me to be able to execute the scene well. So with Ibarra, there's no take two. Everything was take one. So even on a bad day, you have to perform. So grabe lang yung disiplina talaga na-instill sa akin. With that, nadala ko siya all the way after Ibarra. It humbled me. It made me realize that you can't always rest in your laurels. I mean, the only way to get over yourself is to think out of the box and do something different. Kasi pwede mong sabihin, okay na ako, I can settle. But the thing is, if you don't really get out of your comfort zone, you'll never know how far you can go and how much you can push yourself further.
Sorry, can I kind of extrapolate on that then? You said it's one of the ways that you can get over yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because sometimes when you think that you've done a lot, you've done so many things, you've achieved a lot, parang you're okay na. But the thing is, if you settle there, then there's not going to be any more growth. Diba? Kung mag-settle ka lang sa magaling na ako, ang dami ko na nagawa sa buhay ko, may pera na ako, pahinga na ako, bakit? So, that's why it humbles me every time I take on a new character, a new work, or such as this, and in MALLARI. It was hard. I had sleepless nights, literal sleepless nights. But I took it on because I wanted to challenge myself.
And speaking of taking new things on, making sure that you proactively pursue that, you were also part of Brillante Mendoza's star-studded Moro, which recently screened at the Busan International Film Festival. So what was that like for you this time around?
Alright, so the story behind it was he wanted me to do this film, Moro, originally. And we were going to shoot in Mindanao, but Mr. M didn't allow me to shoot in Mindanao. So, but then Brillante said, I really want Piolo in the film, so we had to compromise. I said, siguro probably I'll do the movie, pero I can only shoot in Manila. So what he did, he gave the role to Baron. For me, doing scenes with him, it was just really amazing. And then I'm playing his brother. So we transposed from Mindanao to Tanay, yung mga scenes namin together. And I worked with Direk Loris, I worked with Tito Bo. So with Dante, it was a different experience altogether because he makes you do improv. So when we did one reshoot, he explained to us, so all of this was going to happen. Ito yung scene, magkaaway kayo dito ni Baron, kasama mo si Ina, and then yung asawa, si Beauty Gonzalez pala yung asawa ko, and then there's Ina, asawa naman, isa na parang, it's a family conflict. And sabi niya, ito yung mangyayari. So sabi ko, nasa yung script? I kept asking for the script, the sequence, hindi niya wala nagbibigay. And then only to find out na, kaya niyo na yan, bahala na kayo. Ako yung marami sasabihin, ano to?
Impromptu.
Impromptu siya. So it's good. It was a good exercise. You really have to know your character. You really have to know what you're doing to be able to communicate the scene well and to convey the message that he wants to convey to the audience.
And doesn't that also require a whole lot of background technical study then?
What I do is I always make it a point to give a backstory to my character so that I know myself better, I know where I'm coming from, I know who I am and what I'm doing in the scene. Otherwise, I talk to my director, I talk to my co-actor, and I keep reading the script.
You know what, listening to you so far, parang it's so refreshing to find out na there are things that still surprise you, knowing that Piolo Pascual has gone through a wide variety of genre already. But how important do you think it is for you to be a vessel of these stories like Ibarra and then Moro and now MALLARI as well? So these are heavy storylines. I
was looking at my Instagram. I I'm active sa isang social media platform, which is Instagram. All the rest I have, but we have, of course, social media managers.
Really, you have TikTok?
Yeah, I do. Apparently. I have to. So anyway, so it's just Instagram. So I posted the trailer of MALLARI, the teaser, and then they sent me the teaser of Moro, and then they sent me the teaser of the trailer of Gomburza, and I was like, my gosh, sarap naman, to be part of, these historical films. It was such a privilege to be able to be part of something historical na at this point of my life and my career. This is not your typical rom-com that I'm accustomed to doing. These are milestone films. So ang sarap ng pakiramdam na you get to be chosen to represent a certain character, such as Ibarra, such as MALLARI, such as Pedro Peláez and Gomburza, and also this social-political film Namoro. So parang you want to give voices to these characters. So you want to own it, and that kind of privilege only happens once in a while. So you really embrace it.
You know what? This is my personal question already. Because listening to you, I get so much more curious. We have known you from like rom-coms talaga. Parang sure shot yan. Pagka Piolo Pascual, top biller, alam na namin hit yan. Pero how do you get people to trust you to be the vessel of these stories? Because especially now that the platform is shifting and it's challenging actors now to explore more, like go out of the box. So how do you think you earned their trust?
It's bottom line, it's authenticity. If you're not authentic, if you're not real, if you don't show truthfulness to what you're doing, then you're in trouble. I guess that's my contribution. I don't fake it. I don't try to be somebody that I'm not, or I don't try to do something that I cannot do. I just ito na ako, take me for what I am, but I'll give it my best, as much as you are a vessel, that's an opportunity for you to also grow and challenge yourself and not just really think highly of yourself. Kasi everything that we do is work, and you're always a work in progress, because once you say that you're perfect, then there's no more space or room for growth. So you always want to be a clean slate whenever you take on something.
That's beautiful. I have a takeaway for today. Pero shifting from the heavier stuff, now something really light. So you are part of the first Filipino Netflix original series also, which you mentioned a while ago, replacing Chef Chico,
yes,
alongside Samuel B. and Alessandra De Rossi. So
yes,
ano naman yung character mo this time around? May kilig naman.
Rom-com to, something different, It's I love working with Alessandra. She's a fireball. Wala. Pag nandiyo si Alessandra, tatahimik ka, panonoorin mo na lang siya. And I've always wanted to work, of course, with my brother Sam. So it's about culinary, very Filipino, and we're really happy because when Netflix commissioned them to do it, ang sarap ng pakiramdam because it's the first Philippine Netflix series. So ang sarap ng experience with Dan Villegas as your director. The last time I worked with him was Break a Playlist, and then Antoinette Hadao, who I worked with as well, was our showrunner. So everyone just brought their A game, and everyone just had so much fun. It's gonna come out in November, and we're so excited because it's one way to also champion our content, to a more global market, global scene.
I know you can't spoil anything just yet, but meron bang nuance yung character mo here? Because we've seen you in rom-coms na parang napapansin namin they kind of ride around you as well.
Hindi, nagpapogi lang.
Nagpapogi na. We don't mind.
Nagpapogi lang ako. Tapos kumain ako ng mga niluluto ni Alessandra. No, I was just there to really support Alessandra. I mean, for whatever I did, I guess it just gave life to the story that these guys beautifully wrote. And maganda siya kasi ang dami mong matututunan when you watch it.
So, okay, you're on streaming platforms, you're on TV, you're gonna be on the big screen, and then this time around, tomorrow you're gonna have a concert right here. Before we get to that, last July, you already performed sa US kasama yung mga kapwa mong cornerstone stars sa All-Star concert.
Yeah.
And this November, babalik ka sa US and Canada right after your third solo concert tomorrow. So ano naman maabangan nila for that one?
Piolo, as a songwriter.
As a songwriter.
No, tomorrow is, I've always been so intimidated by the stage. I can be shy at times. Na bordering na sa pagka-introvert. Kasi nga mahihiyain talaga ako eh. If you don't talk to me, I won't talk back. But on stage, to be able to kind of, get your audience engaged for 2 hours, that for me is hard. Because I'm an audience myself. Hindi ako mahilig na ako yung bida, ako yung host. Anyways, but this time around, doing this concert tomorrow, it took me 15 years. I remember ABS, Star Music would hound me every year in, year out. Either Valentine's or November, they'd always ask me every year, mag-concert ka na, mag-concert ka na. I just had no time because I either doing TV or film. But when this came about, I was like, okay, sige, try natin. So tayo sa resort, okay, ilang anong capacity? 2,000 kids. Okay. So, ang dami ko na nasagot ng mga commitment. Nagsunod-sunod ko lang sila.
You're the commitment type now, na parang you say yes to everything first and then...
So after this, next week I leave for the States. I also said yes to another first time na in a long time doing all solo shows. I'm bringing this concert to 5 cities. Guest ko sa iba, si Ai, si Mama Ai, and then si Peachy, si Rufa, may sa iba. But it's 5 full-on concerts. I like singing because I get to express myself in a different way. The way I do stage, the way I do, the way I work the camera for film or TV. It's a different expression, but it's also, it also brings out a certain passion in me because I like to express. So when I sing, I get to be more personal, and that's totally different side of me when I do a show because I tend to just really get intimate and personal because you want to be as engaging as possible, and I enjoy the whole 2-hour set. And yeah, so I'm not going to be doing something I'm not comfortable doing, definitely, but I'm going to showcase some strong songs that I've done through the years, through the last 25 years of my being around in the industry. Yeah.
But speaking of like the intimacy and how personal singing is for you, you will be releasing a new 8-track album under Star Music.
Yeah.
So now the question is, nasan yung puso mo in making this album? Like, anong mga love stories that are gonna be told?
This is also a long time coming. We started working on this album, if I'm not mistaken, probably pre-pandemic. Jeff, when did we start working on this project? Pre-pandemic, because it was hard to kind of collect the songs and get the right people to sing with. Basically, the concept of the album is duets, ultimate duets with our female singers. And we have Kyla, we have KZ, we have Yang, we have Moira, we have Regine, we have Julius, and then Morissette. So I have all the great female singers of our time, and it's all original. So yeah, finally we were able to get the last song mixed yesterday. We wanted to actually release it on the day of the concert, but there's mga nitty-gritty pa. So we're gonna release it next month in time for Christmas.
And maybe right before your US tour and Canada tour. Like somewhere in between there. We'll find time to make
Somewhere
space.
there, yeah.
Yeah, but we're very excited for that. Pero yun nga, kasi how do you pick the songs that...
I like to do original. I like to do mga young composers kasi they have so much emotion. And of course, you deal with the classic ones, but you wanna do something that's now. Where they are, yung mental state nila, yung state of mind nila. So you wanna, give meaning to their lyrics. So the original songs that we did with the female singers, marugtog, mga love songs talaga. Pero masarap.
Yeah. Kahit na masakit, masarap din eh. Mga ganun.
Masarap yung journey.
Yeah. Pero where do you think the musical landscape is now, especially with OPM? Because it's really thriving.
It's thriving. We now have Billboard PH, and I guess sky's the limit because you can access any song at any platform. So it's just a matter of time. For sure, maraming magiging breakout dito from the Philippines.
Yeah, it's more accessible right now. What does it feel for you na makakasama siya this year?
I'm excited. Wait, are you guys okay? Are you guys bored? Okay lang kayo? Okay lang ba? Sorry. Ang dami ko kasing ganap eh. Matatapos na kami ni Gold.
No, I'm sure they would love to hear from you.
Sorry. We're saying a mouthful. But yeah, MALLARI. Talking MALLARI. And we're in the presence of my producer, Mr. Brian from Mentor Productions. He's been so supportive. One thing I can say, okay, a brief background about MALLARI. When I got a phone call for a pitch, 3 characters, MALLARI. I didn't know it was real. It's a tatlong character, horror, tapos MALLARI title, serial killer siya. Yun lang yung gist na sinabi sa akin. Sabi ko, no, I cannot. Sabi ko, I'm still working on the ride. I was doing a film back then. Sabi ko, and then I still have a tour. So there was no way I could squeeze it in my busy schedule. And then that same day, I was shooting with Kylie Chari and Joao. Nasa ano kami sa set. And then we were talking about serial killers. Yung sila Dama, diba? Sabi na, then do we actually have a serial killer in the Philippines? So we Googled it. Si Joao Googled it. Sabi niya, there is, dude. There's Severino MALLARI. Oh shoot. And that's the same day. I stood up. Sabi ko, oh shoot, it's a real guy. It's a real person. So it gave me goosebumps. Sabi ko, Lord, ano ba to? Ano ba to sign? So sabi ko, sige, call my manager. Sabi ko, sige, pa-pitch tayo. Then nagpa-pitch na kami. Napakaganda. Pero sabi ko, tatlong characters, parang napakahirap. Kailangan ko ba to? Kailangan ko ba to ngayon? Busy kasi ako eh. So, I guess you can say I'm just a sucker for good stories.
So you're gonna be playing Father MALLARI?
I'm playing 3 characters. Father MALLARI is from 1812, he's the serial killer. And the second one is John Ray MALLARI from 1948. And the present, which is played by Jonathan MALLARI. They're all related from different timelines.
Wow, that's complicated.
It is really complicated, but if you watch the film, there's a lot of backstory, there's a lot of a good narrative that you'll be able to keep up, and hindi sulit yung isang panonood. I mean, we did this in, my gosh, less than a month, and everyone just brought their A game, and with the help of our producer, we got what we wanted, equipment-wise. Our DOP is an award winner, and Derek Cabrito is an award winner too. So they really knew what they were doing. So coming in, I had an acting coach, by the way, which they never told me about. And it was a welcome change for me because for the last films I've done through the years, you can always wing it. You kind of know your character, you debate with yourself. But this time around, I had the presence. I had the privilege to be the presence of Miss Angie Castrense that I've worked with Chef Chico. So she guided me through every sequence until the end. We would have arguments, we would have discourse, we would talk about the scenes that we were doing every single day. Hinimay namin, so it was a big help for me to be able to identify and really differentiate 3 characters from 3 different timelines.
Right. So it sounds like this is quite psychological and philosophical, no?
Pa-psych ward lang ako.
Pa-psych ward.
Di ko alam. Ang debriefer ko kasi the next day, nagbe-band rehearsal na ako for the concert. So,
at least release ka na ka.
Nirelease ko na sa kanta.
Yeah, but in accepting this role, did it scare you?
It did. I mean, you know, the mere thought na in-turn down mo, tapos that same day, malaman mo, totoong tao pala yung Severino MALLARI. And I said, okay, why not give him a voice and do something, you know, that probably maybe significant, you know, during our time. So, they always saying, banlaw ka, si Direk, sabi niya ko yung magbanlaw ka, siguraduhin mo, magbanlaw ka, lahat sila, yung mga DOP, kailangan mo you have to shake it off. So yeah, the day after I finished my last scene, I was doing a band rehearsal for the concert, so sabi ko yun siguro yung banlaw ko. And then now, I'm busy with this, and then shortly after, I go to the States. So, you just get on with your life. I mean, you know, I'm happy that I was able to give life to these 3 amazing characters and to do something different, a different genre for a change. Yeah.
So we're getting teasers of that, and I'm sure the visuals would be stunning. So I think this is the perfect moment to also pull up the trailer for MALLARI.
About MALLARI, maingat kayo sa script, maingat kayo. Though true story, based on true story, maingat kayo na hindi mag-react, of course, ang simbahan, kasi pari siya na pumapatay, gano'n. Paano ninyo na inatake yung, of course, yung story na?
Yeah, first of all, it's fiction. It's just based on this the life of this documented serial killer, but everything is fictionalized. So that's our way out. You know, it's not a true story. So we had a take on the story of Sabrina MALLARI.
Okay.
Yeah, in horror genre.
Oh, lalo na pag fiction, so yun nga, mas maingat na kayo.
Oh, definitely. Of course, ayaw mo rin naman maging smorgasbord. But of course, you wanna present a film na maiintindihan ng tao yung kwento ng pinag-uusapan ng pelikula.
Okay. Kanina pinag-usapan yung ni Nicole, pero sa dami-dami na ginawa mo, correct mo lang kasi yung interpretation ko at least siguro 2 or 3 years ago na siguro dahil ng pandemic ng mga past interviews ka na sinabi, medyo may ingat ka na sa pagtanggap ng mga projects. May sinabi ka pa yata, correct me if I'm wrong, na parang ayaw mo na mag-soap, parang medyo magbabawas ka na ng mga work. Pero this time, punong-puno. So, ba't biglang nagbago?
Grabe na nun, nabalik ang past.
Oo, biglang nagbago yung decision mo at paano. Or na-bore ka na ba sa dahil wala kang ginawa?
Totoo po kasi yan eh. Nausap ko yung si Direk Barry yung isang araw. Sabi niya, Tol, may pelikula ako para sa'yo. Sabi ko, wala akong schedule next 2025 na, Tol. Sabi niya, ano nangyari? Di ba sabi mo gusto mo maging farmer na lang? Gusto mo magpagsama. Sabi ko, oo nga, hindi ko rin alam kung ano nangyari. Kasi nagsunod-sunod, parang it's hard to pass up on these projects na alam mo mga monumental, alam mo na pag hindi mo ginawa, may pa naman gagawa, obviously. Pero ito MALLARI, sinabi ni Derek, kung di ko tinanggap, sabi niya, sayang, masya-shelve yung project. It's hard to find an actor, apparently, to do something as complicated as this. But yeah, I just want to be able to challenge myself every time I do something, you know, with all the endorsements that I get to have. Parang it's one way of giving back, to stay relevant and also still be in the game. That's why when ABS pitched to me a soap, when I said I'm not doing soaps anymore, I did Flower Fever, which was a series, it was a weekly thing. Yung sinabi ko kay Tito Deo, sabi ko, ganda ng concept eh. Sabi ko, ilang episodes yan? Sabi niya, 100. Sabi nung biling ako sa camera. Sige, gawin natin. Maganda naman kasi. So sabi ko, tsaka na yung bakasyon. And you know,
Hindi Gordy yung pangalan usually ng ano. At bakit ganun yung ngiti mo at halakak mo?
pwede mo walang sagot.
Sino na lang, ano na lang yung source of inspiration?
Yung trabaho ko. Wala akong maisip eh.
30 years na ka namin kakilala eh.
Kaya nga eh, hindi ko na parang tatago sarili ko eh. Kumbaga, yun na yun eh. I mean,
Isa pa siya sa mga inspiration?
Siyempre naman po. Tsaka yung pamilya ko.
So yun nasabi yung hinihintay mo So siya ina, inspirasyon at
Buntis pa siya, ano ba kayo?
Ayaw.
Buti pa nga ibang tao alam eh.
Oo nga, pero anong feeling mo sa gano'n?
Kaya tatawa na lang namin. Actually, nasama kami isang araw, nagpa-picture siya, may bata. Bata na siya. You make fun. I mean, people always fabricate or do make stories just to get people's attention. So, it's part of the game.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck.
Sige, salamat po.
Thank you, Don. Next is Kate Abahar of Rambang Republica. Hi, good afternoon. Kasi kanina pa naman mention na you're so busy until 25 book ka.
Yeah.
Aside from your career, from work, ano yung mga gusto mong ma-achieve for yourself?
I want to be able to do more films as a producer. As a producer, not just as an actor. I really want to push the envelope and I just really want to champion Philippine content, be it docu, series, or whatever. You know, you want to be an advocate of the advancement of Philippine cinema. And as a personal, siguro desire is to, the real estate kasi ako eh. So we put up some hotels here and there. So you know, I have like friends, you know, that are helping me to do hotel business. So yun, on the side.
Thank you.
Yes, ito bila.
Sabi mo eh, di ba? Ano lang, parang breaker lang kasi ano. napag-alaman namin. Hindi, kung ikukumpara ka sa isang Hollywood actor, sino yung peg mo? Sino
Si
ka ng Pilipinas?
Dwayne Johnson, the joke lang.
Kasi tayo. Hindi nga, seriously.
Hindi ko pinipeg yung sarili ko sa kahit na sino artista, Tita Pilar. Pineg ko lang yung ano nila, yung business acumen nila. When Will Smith, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, the likes, Adam Sandler started producing their own films. I said, gagayahin ko to. But not necessarily their acting ability or their style. You know, I'm more of a director type na mas gusto ko kung sino yung director yun ang pinapanood ko. So there's Christopher Nolan, there's Baz Luhrmann, yung mga ganun, yung mga, of course, Scorsese, Spielberg. Pero sa mga artista, bili mo kay Matthew McConaughey. I mean, you know, the way he chooses his roles. All-time ko kasi si Robin Williams, you know, his versatility, and De Niro, and I like the discipline of Denzel Washington, you know. So, obviously, walang bata. Okay, bata.
At least yung mga ginagawa talaga.
Yung family na tinutukoy mo.
My family?
Gusto mo pa bang gumawa pa ng mga marami-raming anak na iiwan sa tuntong ito?
I guess, you know, sa dami ng trabaho ko, parang unfair naman kung hindi ka mag-iiwan ng ano, di ba, ng pamilya. So I guess in time, siguro pag tuli na ako, gano'n, joke lang. Pag malaki na po ako, kasi bata pa ako talaga. Most promising ako, di ba, sa showbiz. So, pag nag-settle na ako, pag konti na lang, dami ko kasing labahan eh. Wala talaga akong time to check. Siguro sa ano na lang, kaya na Nicole, ikaw, may love life ka ba? Ikaw naman.
Magpapaka-busy na lang
Magpapaka-busy ka na lang. No, there's always a time for it. But for now, at my age, I'm not in any rush. I have a 26-year-old kid. And I have this beautiful platform that I can practice my passion. And if it comes when it comes, you know, I hope I'm ready. I hope she's ready. And I hope the whole world is ready.
Thank you.
Thank you po. Ready ka na?
Do we have any more questions before we close the floor?
No.
Pero sabi kasi we need to stretch now.
Stretch pa ba? Okay na. Okay na.
May hinihintay ba tayong reveal or ano?
Hindi ba? January pa.
Kanta or sayaw po?
I wanted to sing, but tomorrow's my concert, so sabi ni Eric Santos, huwag na raw akong kumanta pa din. I-blame natin si Eric. I really wanted to sing, but tomorrow na lang. Kanta na lang kaya. Marami naman akong kakantahin.
Pero, you know what? Sige, mag-stretch tayo. So, Piolo, okay na? Okay na? Okay. So, thank you so much, our friends from the media, for taking the time to talk to us today. And of course, Piolo Pascual, for sitting down with us.